Well, it's time to get the vegetable garden ready, and the fruit is ripening on the trees. But today, we're going to build a leather sheath for this knife. So let's get to it. All right, so I've got my pattern already made. It's a simple pattern, but it'll work. And this is my welt. And I'll be cutting this welt here because I don't want to waste a bunch of leather. And it's no problem having a seam right here inside the sheath. And then I'll have some pieces stacked here to make it a little wider where the knife goes into the sheath. And I'll cut all of this out. I'm just going to trace it out and cut it out with my fancy leather knife. Yeah, I know, knife maker, and hasn't made his own leather knife. I've made them for other people, but not myself. Go figure. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is get one side cut out, traced out, and cut out. And we'll go from there. All right, with all the pieces cut, I've got some spacers in here for the welt, like I explained earlier. Got the outside showpiece and the belt loop. Now, this is all 8-9 ounce leather, except for the belt loop. It's a little thinner, it's like 6 ounce. Now, as you can clearly see, I'm not a leather crafter, but I do make the sheath for the knives I make. Now, before I get started, I'm going to take this over, clean it up on my grinder, 2x72, and I'm going to feather this down to nothing here. Now there's a tool for this to cut this, but I'm just going to use my grinder. And like I said, I'm not your traditional leather crafter, but this will come in here and glue here, and it'll taper off to nothing back here. And then the spacers will go on top of that, and that'll give room for the knife to go in because of the width of the guard. The guard will stop right here. And of course your belt loop. Now I will put the snap loop on before I do any glue up. That'll be the first thing we sew on. But right now I'm going to go get this cleaned up and get this cut. All right, so I've got my welts ready, and what you saw me doing there last, I actually made a little boo-boo, but it's no big deal. I had burnished the wedge pieces, but I really needed to glue them down to these two full welt pieces before I burnished them. So I just glued them on and burnished all of them together, and now we are ready to glue them in. And I always put a little chamfer here at the beginning of these kind of sheaths, and I do them to my pouch sheaths, and just gives a little entrance way for the blade without banging on the corners. And I'll burnish them in here. It just looks good, makes it look neat. So I'm gonna get these glued down, and then we're gonna work on doing some tooling on our top piece and get this thing glued up. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and, since I got it glued up, size I want, everything's profiled, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my stitch groove in here and punch my holes. Now, a real leather crafter will have all these holes punched and dyed, his leather and everything before he even puts it together. But like I said, I'm a wannabe. I make the sheaths for the knives that I make, and I have for 30 plus years, but I'm a little unorthodox. You know, I've got a lot of the tools, but I don't use them always, like edge beveling. I just use my belt sander. But I'm going to groove it and mark the stitch holes and then punch them with a drill. We'll go ahead and get these cut and get her sewed up. I use this piece of granite so I've got a even flat surface. I can extend the loop out over it and it's not all jacked up. All right, we'll go ahead and get our stitches marked. And we'll go ahead and sew it. All right, I got the sheath set up here, my stitching horse, and what I wanted to talk to you about is I use an artificial sinew. It's like 5 times thicker than thread. It's pretty big. And I can get away with using that drill press to punch these holes because this stuff fills it up, and it actually is pretty tight. And while I'm using a saddle stitch, I don't go through both holes at the same time and do this weave thing. I have to do them one at a time. But if you're using thread, you may have to use a stitch punch to, knock your holes in for your threads, because they'll need to be smaller. This works pretty easily, as I'll show you here. Just using a regular saddle stitch, and I've always used artificial sinew. It's you see how it's kind of tight there? Pull it through with some pliers and tighten it up. I will go down through here about 3 spots and come back through with the other one. And then tighten it up. Alright, after some oil and blade wax, I use just beeswax and food grade mineral oil, pretty much what everybody uses for blade wax. It works great on leather. And we've got her done. And let's see how our blade fits in there. Made this blade on another video, previous video, a couple back actually. If you'd like to see that video, I'll leave a link in the description. It's a Mosaic Hunter, 4/16 guard titanium spacers that are anodized, and this purple burl wood. Get her in here, see how she fits. Pretty nicely. I'll put some steel shots here at the end where you can see it a little better. But if you got something out of this video, please consider subscribing. And I want to thank my patrons, and I want to thank you for watching. And we're going to see you on the next one.